and welcome to the Good Friday episode of the Easter Story Box. So in a minute we are going to have a listen to today's part of the story. This is a very big clue as to what the story is about. It is a little bit sad, this part of the story, but I want you to remember that today is called Good Friday for a reason as you listen to the story. So let's have a listen to the story now. As they led Jesus off, they made Simon, a man from Cyrene, who happened to be coming in from the countryside at that time, carry the cross behind Jesus. A huge crowd of people followed, along with women weeping and carrying on. 2 others, both criminals, were taken along with him for execution. When they got to the place called Skull Hill, they crucified him, along with the other criminals, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." The people stood there staring at Jesus, and the ringleaders made faces, teasing, "He saved others. Let's see him save himself. The Messiah of God? Ha! The chosen one? Ha! Look at him now." The soldiers also came up and made fun of him, making a game out of it. "So you're the King of the Jews? Save yourself." Printed over him was a sign, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals next to him cursed him. "Some Messiah you are. Save yourself. Save us." But the other one made him be quiet. "Have you no fear of God? We deserve this. We did things wrong, but not him. He did nothing wrong to deserve this." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you enter your kingdom." Jesus said, "Don't worry, I will. Today you will join me in paradise." By now it was noon. The whole earth became dark, the darkness lasting 3 hours. It was a total blackout. Jesus called loudly, "Father, I place my life in your hands." Then he breathed his last. When the captain there saw what happened, he honoured God. This man was innocent, a good man, and innocent. All who had come around to watch were overcome with grief and sadness and headed home. Those who knew Jesus well, along with the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a respectful distance and kept watch. There was a man by the name of Joseph, a good man. He had not gone along with the plans and actions of the other religious leaders. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Taking him down from the cross, he wrapped him in a cloth and placed him in a tomb inside a rock, a tomb that hadn't been used yet. They sealed the tomb and placed guards in front of it. Okay, so Jesus ends up dying on the cross. And he is there with 2 criminals, 2 people that have done very bad things, yet Jesus has done nothing wrong. One of the criminals doesn't really get this. He thinks that maybe Jesus is lying, or maybe he's not who he says he is, because he says, if you're the Messiah, save yourself and save us, don't let us die. And the other criminal really gets who Jesus is and says, "Shh, don't you know you're speaking to God, you're speaking to someone holy. He doesn't deserve to be here. He's done nothing wrong, yet we do. Lord, please forgive me for all I've done." And he recognises who Jesus is. And Jesus says, "I tell you today, I will sit with you in heaven." So he forgives the criminal's sins and says, "Yeah, you'll be in heaven. So the reason that today is called Good Friday, even though we remember a sad part of the story, is because it is the day we remember Jesus' sacrifice for us, so that we can be forgiven when we say sorry, and so that we can have a friendship, a relationship with God. Without that, forgiveness of sins would not be possible. Okay? So, Jesus, he'd done nothing wrong. Okay? And then he took on all the wrong things that people do. So, telling lies, stealing, being unkind, hurting others, and lots of other things that people do wrong. And he took them all, and they all went on to him. But because he died, when we say sorry to God, this is what happens to the bad things. They get forgiven. It's like they never happened in the first place. They've gone away, they've been taken away, and that's all because of Jesus dying on the cross. Okay? So we're going to do something to remember that now, and as you do today's activity, I invite you, I encourage you even, to talk to God about the things that you need to say sorry for. Because it's not until we go and say sorry to God that we can be forgiven, and that we can then have a really good relationship with God. So today's craft is to make a cross. You can make it any way you'd like to. I've got two examples here. I've got a tissue paper cross. So it's two lollipop sticks glued together, and then tissue paper and pom-poms to decorate it. You could colour it with felt tips, you could use glitter, you could use stickers, however you wanted. Or you can make a stained glass window cross with some paper and tissue paper. So to do that one, the easiest thing to do is to fold your paper in half, cut an outline of a cross, and then cut another outline of the cross on the inside, but make sure you leave the top and the bottom ends joined. And then you've got a choice really. You've got this bit that you could colour and decorate, or you've got this bit with gaps in the middle, and all you do is you get your glue and some tissue paper. I'm not going to do it all, I'll just do one bit to show you. You pop some glue on the edge, and you stick the tissue paper to the edge. So if you look at this one, you can see I've glued it to the edges, so I've made sure my tissue paper is big enough. And then if you want to, you can stick that up in your window, and when the light shines through, you'll get really pretty colours coming through. So those are today's activities, to make a cross however you would like to, and I would invite you either on your cross or as you do it to say sorry to God for some of the things you need to say sorry for. I said earlier, the story doesn't end here. Okay, on Easter Sunday we will be looking at the next part of the story. We're going to have a break tomorrow, so there isn't going to be a Saturday episode, partly because the disciples were all waiting, and it was a time of waiting. So we'll have that time of waiting, and I will see you for the next and final part of our story, which gets a bit happier, on Easter Sunday during the Church on Bury Hill's 10:30 service. So it won't be a separate episode, it will be during the 10:30 service. Hopefully I will see you then, and I hope that you enjoy making your crosses.